Hello everyone, welcome to the Unistellar channel. Thanks very much for being here. In this third video, we'll look at how to make sure your eVscope's mirror is properly aligned, which will further improve your observations and the sharpness of the images you save. In the previous video, we talked about using the Bahtinov mask, which adjusts the distance between the mirror and the sensor. Today, we're going to cover an equally important topic for improving the clarity of your images. Let's go! The collimation of a telescope, also known as mirror alignment, is an essential step in ensuring quality images. The purpose of collimation is to align the optical axis of the mirror, which is located at the bottom of the tube, with the sensor, which is located at the entrance of the tube. The stars should appear as round dots on your smartphone and in the eyepiece. If they're distorted or have strange shapes, then you'll need to work on the focus with the Bahtinov mask, and also adjust the alignment of the mirror, and that's what we're going to see next. Before you start, let me give you some good news. The first thing is, on the eVscope, this operation is much easier than other telescopes. The second thing is, you won't have to do this operation very often, only if you transport your eVscope with too much agitation, such as in the trunk of the car, for example. Come on, let's go! To do this, we need two things. The first thing you need is the smallest Torx key found in the toolbox supplied with your eVscope. It's the Torx T15 key. And you will also need clear skies and a wide choice of stars. If you can't find the right Allen key, just try them all. It's the only one that fits. Once the eVscope is connected to the smartphone, you'll need to use the in-app joystick to lower it, like this one, to see stars. When you do, you can click on the eVscope orientation on the top of the screen. Now, you should know what this is because we've spoken about it in the previous two videos. Wait a few seconds for the message to appear, orientation successful. When it's done, we'll be able to point to a bright star. Let's go find a bright star in the catalog and sort the object by proximity to find the closest star to where the eVscope is currently pointing. You'll see many stars offered by the app. You just need to choose the first one. Why? Because this is the closest star to where the telescope is pointing. Once the star is selected, go to the Go To button and let your eVscope point to that star. When it arrives on it, check that your star is perfectly centered in the eyepiece. And don't hesitate to use the joystick to recenter it if necessary by activating slow mode and moving the joystick. Okay, now your eVscope is locked to a star. Let's do a very important little thing that will make our job much easier. Go to the observation settings by clicking on the edit button under the catalog icon. The settings window will appear with the possibility of modifying the gain and the exposure time when you are in live view mode. In order for us to do the collimation, it's important to set the gain and exposure time to auto by activating the little switch right here. If the gain or exposure time is set incorrectly, we will have too much or not enough light, which will prevent it from working. Okay, now the settings are correct. Let's move on to manual work. We will now use the focus wheel, which is located on the back of the eVscope. This wheel is used to focus your image. We're now going to turn the wheel to make the image totally blurry until we see a cross appear on the image. It should look like this. To get this image, we can either turn the wheel to the left, or should I say counterclockwise. You will notice that you can only turn the wheel a quarter turn, 90 degrees, or to the right clockwise, and this time you can turn the wheel to 270 degrees. To make the cross appear, you can turn the wheel in either direction. It doesn't matter. The important thing is that you can see a fairly bright star with a distinct cross. Be careful though, if you turn the wheel to the right, don't turn it all the way because it will totally blur the image and it's unlikely you'll see the cross. And anyway, why do you see a cross? Well, this cross is simply the cross that you see at the top of the tube. We call it the spider. And it's this cross that allows us to verify that the alignment is good. The goal here is to make sure that the cross is perfectly centered in the star, which itself must be perfectly centered on the screen. Make sure not to zoom into the image. This is the result that you're going to have to get. That means your mirror is properly aligned. If everything is already perfectly aligned, the cross in the center of the star and the star in the center of the screen, then you don't need to do anything more with the collimation. You can recenter the focus wheel to find the correct focus. And then you could use the Bahtinov mask to adjust the sharpness of your image. But if the cross is not perfectly centered, as we can see in this image, too far to the right, but also too low, or it could have been the opposite, too much to the left or too high, or even just off center horizontally, but well aligned vertically. So you will have to realign your mirror. To do so, this is how we will proceed. You'll first use the in-app joystick in the observation window to place the star on the edge of the screen. But which edge? Well, it all depends on your cross. It's actually very simple because it makes sense. If you see the off-center cross on the right, you will place the star on the right edge of the screen with the joystick. If you see the cross off-center on the left, place the star on the left edge. Remember to activate slow mode on your joystick to make the eVscope move very slowly. If it's not activated, your eVscope will move much faster and the star will come out of the field of view. Once the star is on the correct side, we'll take the Torx key and turn the screw, which will recenter the star on the screen. Have you noticed these two screws located around the focus wheel? The top screw will be used to move the star vertically, and the left screw will move the star horizontally. If the cross is therefore too far to the right, you will place the star on the right of the screen with the joystick, and you will then have to turn the screw of the horizontal axis to bring the star back to the center of the screen. And by doing this several times, you will realign the mirror, because as you recenter the star with the screw, you will see the cross recenter on the star as well. You'll probably need to do this several times until the cross is again perfectly centered. First, move the star with the joystick, then bring it back to the center with the Allen wrench. You may also need to work with the second screw. If the cross is, for example, both too far to the right and too far down, you will have to place it first on the right with the joystick and recenter it to the left until the cross is centered in the star, and you will then have to place the star at the bottom of the screen, still with the joystick, and then use the top screw to raise the horizontal bar of the cross and refocus it as well. This may all sound a little complicated, but I'm sure you understand. When the cross is perfectly centered, you know the mirror alignment is good. You can put the focus wheel back to its original location to regain the correct focus, and then you could use the Bahtinov mask for the perfect fit. And there you go, now you know how to align your mirror. Like we said at the start of the video, you really shouldn't have to do this very often. You can check from time to time that the cross is centered simply by pointing at a fairly bright star and turning the focus wheel to display the cross. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks again for following us. There are now more than 10,000 people in the world with an eVscope in their home. The Unistellar community is growing week by week. We're really happy to see you posting your images on social media. Some of you have even created Facebook groups where users can exchange tips and tricks. Don't hesitate to visit these groups. You might find people who can help you out. If you have any questions, you can also leave them in the comments section of this video. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up. Let us know how it went for you with the collimation. You can, of course, subscribe to our YouTube channel and click on the notification bell. This will allow you to receive a notification when we publish a new video, because we've got more videos coming. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you very soon with Unistellar.